Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Trail of Cthulhu First Edition tabletop role-playing game rules by Pelgrane Press. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this show may include mature themes and scenes. All content, including names, places, events, and so forth, which may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or eldritch, is strictly coincidental. My name is Rena Henze, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am your keeper, Keeper Mav. My pronouns are they, them, and I welcome you to another episode of Silver Screams, our Trail of Cthulhu campaign set in 1930s Hollywood, where some very disturbing occurrences happened last time. But there's been a lot of disturbing things over the past few episodes, so continuing to ramp up a little bit, maybe. But we'll get to that shortly. First, I'd like to say thank you, as always, to all of you, our listeners, especially you, our Patreon supporters. We could not do what we do without you. If you would like to see what we have to offer, including an exclusive campaign for Delta Green called God's Teeth, you are welcome to do so at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. And now let's get to some introductions. To my right.
Hello, I'm Bunny, and I play Avalon Alethea Joy, or St. Cyr. Our pronouns are she, her, and I am your friendly neighborhood makeup artist.
Yes, you are, with a new book. And next to Yvonne.
Hello, I am Nichelle Schneider. I am playing Lilith St. Cyr. We both go by she, her pronouns, and I'm an actress, and I'm feeling, I don't know, rejuvenated or refreshed lately.
You found the perfect role. Isn't that wonderful?
I did. Exactly.
At the end of the table?
Hello, I'm Perry Clark. I'm playing Kingston Pico Garvey. Him. I'm the set designer and stagehand, and I've gone quiet.
Not ominous at all. Not ominous at all. And next to Kingston?
Hello, my name is Courtney, and I'm playing Sophia Reed. We both use she, her pronouns. Sophia is a seamstress and is looking to, expand the family business into Avalon Studios.
Yes, you're starting to take over one unremembered relative at a time. And last but never least...
Hey there, I'm Emily, she, her, and I play Kitston or Kit Dubois, he, him, a production assistant who barely remembers what it's like to be stressed out by work instead of by whatever else is happening.
Poor Kit. He's always finding new things to be stressed about. It's a talent. All right, so we are advancing the camera forward a little bit, a few days into Sunday, July 5th. What have you done over the past few days? Just give us a quick summary of what you would have been doing, working on, looking into, and any of those things over the few days. You've been working very hard. You've had a lot of work to do. Not a lot of weird shit has happened beyond the original weird shit. And you're trying hard to focus on the tasks at hand. So just give me a brief summary of what you would have been up to before this Sunday rolls around and your attempts to find a Mr. Wilkins.
I do believe that Sophia has returned to her apartments and is looking to rent an extra room there for her brother. They've spent quite a lot of time in the St. Cyr home, and there's only so much food Howard can eat before someone gets very upset at them.
You're able to find a place for Howard in the same building, a room for him, which comforts him a bit. He's a little worried about not sharing a room with you, but your landlady will not allow you to share a room with a man, even if it is your brother. And he does continue to eat quite a bit, but he's making some money now as a new custodian at Avalon Studios, so he can start supporting himself a little bit. All right. Yvonne, what have you been up to?
Yvonne will mostly be focusing on work, with a few exceptions of going to Peaches a couple of the nights and visiting her apartment as she prepares to spend more time there again than the St. Cyr household as well.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes to Peaches, she reconnects with people, and she writes 3 letters that she seals and leaves in her vanity in her bedroom, addressed to Kitston, Kit Dubois, Dolores Spencer and Carol Slater. And on the backs of the envelopes, they say, please deliver to the named persons and only open if I'm gone.
Oof. Not heavy at all. So you spend your time working, you go to Peaches, you have drinks with Dolores. It's nice to feel a little bit of normality for the moment, even with impending doom hanging over your head. But you're able to reconnect with your friends at Peaches, many of whom you've seen working on the set in various capacities now, and they're sharing stories and talking about the work they're doing, and it's good to talk shop in ways that aren't heavy. What about Kit?
Kit, on the day we left off at, is going to have gone back to Director Moore's office, and under the guise of changing Sophia's contact information, her emergency contact information, back to Howard, he's going to snoop around and try and find what he can on Mr. Collins, on the Devil's Locket, whatever information they seem to suddenly be forgetting, and take notes of that in his own book in case they suddenly start forgetting more.
You find nothing on Mr. Collins, not even a scrap of paper. You don't remember Mr. Collins, so you don't even know how to look for anything because you don't know who all he worked with. There's no notes on the Devil's Locket in anyone's files. Even when you look at Lilith's file, you don't find any note of having worked on the Devil's Locket. There is nothing.
Okay.
And I'm not going to ask for a stability roll because you don't remember these things either.
Cool. Sounds good.
What about Kingston?
So he'll put on, as he has done for most of his life, he'll put on the as focused face as possible when he is at work. He's keeping minimum contact. That first night, first place he went before making his appearance at this St. Cyr home was to his aunt. And they had their conflab about the situation, what they're concerned with, the plans, the yellow sign. And he'll show up for the meeting in times at the house. And once everyone's well asleep, he will begin to remove his stuff from the house, leaving only enough to make it look like he has been there. But he does not sleep in the St. Cyr house at all. He is also drafting a letter to Brian. And he is contemplating some things. And over that time, if there was a point where you did walk in to see him, there was a few points where he's sitting with those pages from Mr. Brewer out in front of him and the divination stones by his side. And one particular day, you see him actually just try and rip the edge of the paper. And the question is, does it rip?
The paper does not rip.
At that moment, he just lets out a very slow sigh as he drops the paper in front of him.
So Kingston tries to unburden himself and learn what to do next. And last, Lilith, what have you been up to over these past few days?
My usual stuff.
Reading lines with Clarissa? Acting your heart out? Thinking about that role in the back of your mind as you go about your day. It never quite leaves you, and you've got your mask now sitting in your tight dressing room, just seated on your vanity table where you can see it. So we skip ahead a few days, those few busy days for you. Director Moore is really pushing this film. As you've noticed, things are moving a lot faster than normal. You started the film faster. You should have had more time in between films. Except Kit's thinking, well, it has been a long time, hasn't it? It's been a few months since we did a film, which is a bit strange in and of itself. And so it's been tiring. But you had yesterday off for the 4th of July. You went about your celebrations with or without a smile. But you wanted to find a certain Mr. Philip Wilkins, and you had decided that the weekend, in this case Sunday, because of the holiday yesterday, would be a good time to go and speak to him. So you have an address. Who all's going? Everybody? All right. So your whole group is going. You get together on this beautiful Sunday morning, continuing the heat wave that's been rushing through the city. You all make your way to this address. You hope that Mr. Wilkins still lives there. He's in a suburb, or at least his house is this address that you have. It takes you a little while to get there. It's an uncomfortable place for you to be, Kingston. You get some looks as you make your way in. But you find this house down at the end of the street, and it looks kind of poorly maintained, let's say. The windows are boarded up. The lawn, what lawn there is, doesn't look like it's been taken care of in a while. The paint is peeling. You notice the kids on the street who are playing with their toys or chasing each other don't go near that house. They stay on the other side of the street. But it's there.
We're sure this is the one?
I mean, it's what we found in his file, right, Kit? So,
Yeah.
should be it, if he's still here.
It just a moment, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophia's going to go over to the children across the street. Hello. I see that you are playing a fun game here.
Hello, miss.
I have a question for you. Do you know who lives at that house there? And she points to the house that they're going to.
They all lean away from it in unison. Oh, that's crazy Mr. Wilkins. We're not allowed to go to Mr. Wilkins' house.
Well, why is that?
They look at each other. Because he's crazy. That's what Dad says.
I see. Do you know if something has happened with Mr. Wilkins that your dad doesn't like him?
They look back, and again, in unison, all three of them shrug. We just know that he's a crazy Mr. Wilkins, and you don't go near his house. And we've never seen Mr. Wilkins. He doesn't come out.
Okay. Well, thank you. I hope you boys have just a wonderful time playing, and make sure to keep your hats on. You don't want too much sun on your head. Why don't you all scurry back towards where your homes are?
Okay, just be careful. Don't go to Mr. Wilkins' house. And they take off running down the street, laughing and chasing each other.
And she'll come back. Well, that doesn't necessarily bode very well. All right, and she'll march up the front porch and knock on the door.
You knock, and then you knock again. And you wait a moment. And then you hear noise inside the house, like creaking of floorboards. And then creak of a door handle turning. The door sounds like it hasn't been opened in a while, or at least it hasn't been oiled. The hinges haven't been oiled because it goes creak as it pulls open slightly. And you just see this pair of eyes with a shock of white hair above them. And this wrinkled face peering out at you says, "What do you want? Who are you?"
Hello, Mr. Wilkins. My name is Sophia Reed, and she holds her hand out.
Reed? Like Howard Reed? Are you related to Howard? You remember Howard, right?
I do remember Howard. Yes, Howard is my brother.
You remember Howard. What are you doing here?
Well, and she kind of like steps back a little bit to sort of open up the space. We came here to speak with you about Howard and some of the projects you may have worked on.
He gives you this wild-eyed stare as you gesture to everyone, and he kind of shrinks back. And then his eyes kind of glance over everyone. He sees Howard, and his eyes get wide as dinner plates. You better come in, quick. And the door pulls open all the way with a loud screech as he opens it in a hurry.
Sophia will scoot right in.
I think the rest of us will follow.
Yeah.
You all enter this dimly lit home. The windows, like I said, have been boarded up. For the most part, there's cracks of light coming through, but not a whole lot. The electric lights are kind of dusty, as if they haven't been cleaned. There's the smell of mildew in the air. It's not a very healthy feeling in here. Howard comes in quickly, and you can see, Sophia, that Wilkins looks at him and kind of reaches out as if to touch him and then pulls his hand back. And he shakes his head and says, "Sitting room. I don't go in there much, but there's chairs for everybody." And he ushers you into this dark room. The lights flicker, manage to stay on so you can see each other. There are chairs and couches in here. There's a couple couches, some wooden chairs. Look like they haven't been used in quite some time. Sit. We need to talk. Why are you here? Why are you here? And he points at Howard, who shrinks back, looks surprised. Why are you here?
Well, I think for as much as why you're confused as to why we're here is exactly why we're here. When I first came to Avalon Studios looking for Howard, no one remembered who he was. And the only mention of him that anyone could find, was attached to your name.
There was still a mention of him? They didn't get it all?
That's right. So the two of us, and Yvonne will gesture to Kit, looked through some records and we found only one mention of Howard that we could find at all in hours of searching. Was just a quick little one line on your file. They had worked with you on a project. So that's why we're here.
They got careless. They got clumsy. None of you. You don't know the names Lucy Chen or Noble Davis or Walter Green?
No.
See, they got them too. They're gone. They disappeared and everybody forgot, but I didn't forget. I'm stronger. You can't make old Philip Wilkins forget. No siree. He taps the side of his head rapidly.
What did these other people do for Avalon Studios?
Noble was one of the stagehands with me and young Howard, and Lucy worked in the costuming department, and Walter was one of the camera operators. Yes. And he looks at you, Kingston, and he gives you a strange look. You don't remember them either?
Just shake my head no. Was I there too?
We were finishing the film when you started. You don't remember?
No, I don't, sadly.
They got you.
But it's happening again.
Not again. No. 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 That's why I left, you see? Because I remembered. I remembered things. Not everything. They got some things, but I remembered you. And he points at Howard. And you. They didn't make you forget. You weren't on the film. That's why they didn't make you forget the film, or you didn't disappear, or you were on the Western. Yes, I remember you, Kingston, yes. But you were there, and you don't remember. You don't remember. And he starts getting agitated.
Sir. Sorry. We're sorry to disturb you. We're worried. We don't want it to repeat itself. We don't want to forget things again.
It's also terribly refreshing to hear somebody else has gone through any of this and remembers anybody from it.
How did you come back? And he's pointing at Howard. How did you come back? And Howard just sort of shrinks into his seat under the weight of the man's intense scrutiny. I don't remember. I don't remember. I was somewhere else, and then I was here. Sophia?
It's okay. What's important is that you are back. I'm really sorry to say we don't really know what happened.
You melted.
Excuse me?
Into the set. I saw you melting, disappearing. And his eyes are wild.
Mr. Wilkins, do you have a kettle? I could put on some tea, maybe.
Kettle, kitchen, maybe.
Oh, yes. It's terribly rude to pop in on somebody, especially unannounced, and not bring anything. And she'll open her bag and pull out a thing of cookies from the store and a thing of tea from the store. Little offerings for disturbing your peace today.
He looks a bit confused for a moment at this moment of normality. Make tea, yes. Sorry, should have offered. I haven't been around people for so long.
No, it's okay.
It's quite all right. Fia takes the tea and goes into the kitchen to find things to make the tea for everyone.
Did you retire or were you asked to leave?
I left. I couldn't be there anymore. I might forget things, or they might make me disappear too. I couldn't stay anymore. They thought I was crazy.
Are we the first people you've spoken with since then?
His eyes dart back and forth. Yes, I think so. I don't know how long it's been. Time has no meaning. He's hitting his forehead a little bit. Time has no meaning. Don't know how long it's been. But yes.
I kind of look back to Kingston because I know that Kingston started when he retired. Wasn't that several years ago? 2 years, so he hasn't seen anybody else.
Beyond what he's interacted with his neighbors, this is where he's been. The hermit of the house. The hermit of the neighborhood.
I pay one of the neighborhood boys, don't know his name, to bring me food once a week. Leaves it on the doorstep. I leave the money. Never see each other. Can't. I don't want to see anyone. Anyone could be one of them.
Sir?
What?
I'm sorry, but who is them? Who was running this?
It's Mr. Rattigan's movie. Mr. Rattigan wanted this movie. And he has people on the set. The people must make things forget, make us not remember. I don't know who belongs to Mr. Rattigan, but he couldn't do it by himself. He wasn't even there most of the time. So someone had to be doing it for him, and it could have been any of them. Any of them.
Mr. Wilkins, did you ever meet Mr. Archie Brewer?
Mr. Brewer, yes. Mr. Brewer, the executive producer. Yes, that was Mr. Brewer.
He also is very rarely around, but we just met him before everything started getting weird, too. So I thought I'd ask if you had met him as well, that you remembered.
Yes. He came to set sometimes. Nice suit. His eyes dart back and forth. Mr. Brewer, yes.
While I've gone off to the kitchen I would like to take the opportunity to see if I can maybe find something about the Yellow Road.
Okay.
A script or anything like that.
All right, so are you poking around in other rooms in the house? It's a one-story house. It's pretty small.
Yes, while the kettle's boiling away, she will still bring in tea, but she's taking the opportunity to poke about.
Okay. So, let's see. Give me... 'cause you're going to get some information regardless, but I want to see how long it's going to take you. And how... Give me stealth, because I want to see how good you are at doing this.
I would like to spend 3 points of stealth.
Nice.
And I rolled a 5, so that brings me up to an 8.
Fantastic. So you creep around. It does take a little bit of time, but the others are keeping Mr. Wilkins pretty distracted. You find a small room with a desk in it and a chair. It looks like it's been used. There's a little typewriter. There's papers everywhere. Everywhere. On the floor, on the broken rickety chair in the corner, a bookshelf that's just stuffed full of notebooks and papers everywhere. You start rifling through some of them, and you find this repeated design over and over and over, these twisting, curving yellow lines. Over and over and over in the papers. Just everywhere.
Does this look familiar to Sophia?
It does. You find in a notebook that's been, it looks like coffee or something's been spilled on it, so you have to kind of pull apart the pages. You see the words, the Yellow Road, scribbled over and over, and the names, Howard Reed, Lucy Chen, several other names, Noble Davis, the ones he mentioned in the room, back in the sitting room, and just repeated over and over like he's trying to force himself to remember these things. That's the feeling you get. And then you find some notes. They seem to be about the film. I put the set up the road. That road into nowhere. I painted it. How did I paint it? It was strange paint. Strange paint. Moved on its own. It moved. And just the phrase, it moved over and over. The king is coming. The king is coming. In huge letters at the back of the notebook.
The things of interest that she's found, she's going to tuck into her bag. The briefest of moments of just tidying things up a little bit, and then she will go back into the kitchen and get the tea prepared to bring out to everybody.
You bring out the tea. The atmosphere's a little bit tense. It's a little bit uncomfortable. This man is clearly fractured in some ways, the way he's repeating things and tapping at his head, but you're getting something from him. Do you have any further questions for him? As Sophia pours the tea in some cups she had to clean very, 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 very thoroughly because they hadn't been used in probably 2 years.
Kings will say, if you're willing, and with everything that's going on, maybe I can help clear it up a little, or not give us some answers.
He looks at you suspiciously. You don't want to make me forget, do you? You're not going to make me forget more.
I'd rather for you not forget and us to have answers and maybe some choices still left to us.
What do you want?
I will gesture to take the seat across from him.
Okay.
I will offer up my hands. And I will do the psychometry again with him.
Okay. So give me the roll.
And I have no magic points left at this point, so it's just straight up.
Okay.
That's a 3.
3. Okay. He touches your hands very gingerly. He looks uncomfortable, but he does it. And then you are pulled into this whirling, twisting, fractured mind. You feel images, just splatters of images and cracks. You see people in yellow robes, just flashes for a moment. You see faces, and you feel confusion around the faces, and then the certainty that you know who these people are, and you've got to hold on to their names. You've got to, you can't forget. And it's almost like looking into a mirror that's been broken, been dropped on the floor, and you're looking into these tiny little shivers of glass and catching glimpses, but you can't quite get the full picture. And it's overwhelming because this man's mind is broken. It's swirling around in his brain. And when you pull out of it, you feel the remnants of his madness lingering as you, for a moment, you don't recognize the people around you. Just for a moment.
Sort of just wide-eyed looking at everyone for a few moments. It's worse than any of us could have thought. And I'll deadlock on Lilith. So much worse.
Yvonne's going to put a hand on Kingston's shoulder. We'll do what we can to figure it out.
Opens the path.
I'm sorry, what?
Opens the road. Opens the road.
Mr. Wilkins?
What opens the road?
It's coming. And then he just gets this glassy-eyed stare for a moment. And then he looks at all of you. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hi, Mr. Wilkins. Sorry. Me and my friends here, old coworker Howard, wanted to come see you. We're so sorry for interrupting you. We brought you tea and cookies as a gift for disturbing your Sunday. We just had questions about your old career, but we can get out of your hair if you want us to. We're sorry.
You won't make me forget. You won't make me forget.
We don't want you to forget.
You won't. And he pulls back into himself. You see his arms pull at his sides really tightly. Open the road. Open the road.
Mr. Wilkins, do you know what they gained from that last film?
It didn't work.
Why?
It didn't work. Something stopped something's hitting his head in agitation. Something stopped it. There's a ritual. He stopped it. The film never finished. He
Before
stopped it.
or after people vanished?
They vanished during. I noticed Noble first. Nobody believed me. He worked there. Nobody believed me. Halfway. And then Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Walter. And then he points at Howard. You at the end. You were the last one.
So it possibly requires 4 to go missing, and we are currently at 2?
It might have required more than 4 to go missing, and that's why it failed. But we're an actor who worked on our last film with us. According to somebody who remembers the last film, is going to sort of look briefly over her shoulder towards Sophia. An actor who worked with us before, as recently as last month, he's already gone missing. And none of us remember him or that film really. Well, one of us remembers him, and one of us remembers the film. But it's happening again at the studio, and thank you for shedding some light that somebody might remember something and that there's a pattern.
It's happening again.
Do you know what might stop it?
I I don't. Power. They didn't do it right. They didn't. He was upset. He was upset, said something wasn't right, and it wouldn't work. They were trying, but it wouldn't work, and he said it wasn't right.
Who said it wouldn't work?
Mr. Rattigan. Mr. Rattigan was there. He was there, and it didn't work.
I actually would like to try to use reassurance to calm him down. I rolled a 5 for reassurance. We're not here to try to make you forget anything. We want to be like you and remember things. But we know who you're talking about, at least some of them. And we want to hear what you have to say. Just breathe, and we're here, okay? So we don't work for whoever's done this to you in the same way that you're worried about. We're just people with the same kinds of concerns as you, okay?
He takes a deep breath, and you see a bit of clarity come back into his eyes as you're reassuring him and talking to him. He said there was a piece missing, and it wouldn't work. There was a piece missing from something wasn't done that needed to be done from he called it a ritual.
Okay, so it's a ritual, and something that was needed wasn't done. It was missing, okay? Do you remember anything else about the thing that Mr. Rattigan referred to as a ritual?
He kept saying it's not right. And then he said he's not right. But I don't remember who he was talking about.
Okay.
I don't remember. There was someone there. There was someone there who wasn't right. But it's like there's a hole there. I don't remember.
It's so frustrating having these gaps in our memories. I can't imagine what it's been like for you living with this for a couple years already. And I know that it's really hard not remembering something this big, but it's okay to take your time, and you're talking to people who also have big gaps in their memories now. So you're not alone like this anymore. You're not crazy. You're not making things up. We believe you. It's okay. Really. Everything you've said so far is so helpful already. It's okay if there's some gaps right now. We'll figure it out, okay?
Maybe if it's happening again and you stop it, maybe we'll remember. Maybe you'll remember the people who are missing. Or not, because the first film stopped and the ritual stopped and we don't remember things. Maybe. I don't know. I just... It's so confusing in my head.
Well, Mr. Wilkins, I think all you can do is have hope. I have hope. As Howard's back. And maybe that's something that you can hang your hat on as much as I have. Because it broke my heart when no one knew who he was. But he's here now.
Maybe you can get them back. Got him back. Maybe you can get them all back. Maybe. I don't know. I don't.
Hopefully.
Okay.
So sorry. Do you have any information or materials or things you'd be willing to share with us that might be useful? The film itself has been completely erased from everything, even Kit here delivered the only remaining copy to Mr. Brewer earlier in the week.
There was a copy?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Brewer remembers?
Mr. Brewer remembers a lot. I don't think he was affected either. Because he remembered Howard. Right, Sophia? He said to you, like he talked to you about Howard. Like he remembered clear as day.
That's right.
Didn't he tell you where to find Howard? Or potentially help guide? Yeah. So...
You have to find out why he remembers. If he remembers everything.
I think he does. He was making some pretty tall offers.
Offers. What does he want?
He kept offering us things that we wanted without really specifying what he wanted in return other than another movie made that is
He wanted us to put our heart and souls into it,
yeah
to give our all.
yeah
If he wants this movie,
he really wants it.
maybe you have to make the movie. Find out what he wants. He'll be more involved, right? Be with him, close to him.
I think so, yes. He's been more involved with this one than the last one.
Yes, maybe. Yes, you have to find out what he wants. What is he doing? And his eyes kind of roll back in his head and he collapses.
I try and catch him and sort of ease him into a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Sir? You alright?
It takes a couple moments for him to come round. And his eyes have that maddened cloud in them again.
I'll do a first aid check on him just to make sure that he's okay, or to see if this is something that's like old age or if this is onset from something else. 4.
4? Okay. With a 4, he seems physically, he's a bit malnourished, so it's possible he hasn't eaten enough. He's been cooped up in the house for as long as you can tell, for 2 years, as far as you can tell. So he's not in the best of health, but he, thanks to Kit, didn't hit his head. He seems to be okay, but that moment of clarity seems to have gone. You're not quite sure if he collapsed from the pressure of everything he was remembering or trying to think through in his condition, or if he just hasn't eaten enough and it made him pass out. It's really hard to tell.
I think we may be doing more harm than good here. Maybe we should go soon.
Does he have any family?
You didn't see anything in his personnel file when you looked at it. He never married, doesn't have children.
I don't necessarily feel comfortable in just leaving him here like this.
I'm fine.
Mr. Wilkins. Mr.
What?
Wilkins. My name is Yvonne Joy. I'm writing my address and the number for the switchboard to direct you to my phone line that I had added. If you ever need to talk to anybody, if you ever need anything, this is how you find me. I work at Avalon Studios. I'm a makeup artist there. And I believe you. I don't think you're crazy. Okay?
I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. And she's going to write all of that down, and she's going to leave it on top of the tin of cookies that she had brought. We're not going to force you to keep interacting with us. Thank you for the information you gave us. But if you remember anything else you want to share with someone who believes you, this is how you can reach me, okay?
Okay. Okay. I won't forget you. I won't
I won't
forget
forget
you.
you either, okay?
Can't be forgot. Can't be forgot.
Thank you, sir, for helping us.
You should go. You should go.
Okay. Yes.
And he holds his head and starts swaying a little bit. You should go. You should go. You should go.
I'll help Sophia move the teacups back into the kitchen so we don't leave them a mess. And we'll show ourselves out unless somebody else wants to do something. Oh, I'll leave aspirin on the counter for him as well. From my purse. It feels like the only thing right to do after causing him so many headaches.
Absolutely. So you all head out. What would be your next steps from here?
I agree with you, Lilith, that I don't love leaving him here like this. But giving him a way to reach out if he needs to and swinging back by when we can over the weeks to come just to check on him, make sure he's okay as he ever is. I think that's the best we've got. We can't force somebody who's been isolated for 2 years to now be surrounded by people all the time.
My thinking is it might be a good idea for you to tell someone else in case we forget that he worked there. So we wouldn't be able to check up on him even if we wished, because suddenly they realize they left a loose thread. So that might be something for us to consider.
Maybe we can have one of the neighbors check in on him. At least they're close by.
Do you think they would?
I wish we knew which boy dropped his food off for him each week. Because, I don't know, maybe we could, if we knew that, at least we could ask that boy to reach out if the money stops being left out on the porch, or if the food stops being brought inside.
I think that might be fairly easy for us to find out.
Has anybody come out onto their porch to see strangers at Mr. Wilkins' house?
Yes, there's a woman in a long dress. She's got a broom, ostentatiously sweeping.
Sophia will walk up to her. Good afternoon, ma'am. We were just checking in on Mr. Wilkins. He worked for the studio we worked at. Do you know who... He mentioned a young man who helps him out sometimes. Do you know who that would be?
She looks at you. She looks back at the house. It's my son, Randall.
That's very kind of you and Randall.
We want to make sure that he is okay and somebody is there to check in on him if something were to go wrong.
She shakes her head. There hasn't been anything okay with him for years at this point.
Let's reframe that. I'm so sorry. If the money stops being left out for groceries, or groceries stop being taken inside, that your son is so generously helping with, would it be okay to ask you to notify one of us so that we could do just like a little wellness check-in on him?
She nods very slowly. All right. And she sighs. Philip Wilkins used to be such a nice man. He taught Randall to do woodwork when he was younger. That's why we try to look after him as best as we can. I remember what he was like. It's a pity to see him when he pokes his head out. I see him sometimes reaching out to grab the groceries that Randall leaves him. I hate seeing it. So yes, if something changes, it would be good to have someone to look in on him.
I think Lilith is going to go into her wallet, and she doesn't have very much in there. but she will make sure to hand the woman a little bit of cash and just say, very much appreciated, thank you. He used to work where we work, and we wanted to check in on him, so we did, but...
She takes the money and says, we'll get him something a little extra with his groceries next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna go and hand her, I've scribbled on a piece of paper the number of Avalon Studios and our extensions.
All right.
You can reach him, you can reach any of us this way.
And I'm out back of the street. I'll point out, you should also include Lilith's home as well.
Yes, right. And I'll add that.
Yeah, because I think my mom would probably remember over potentially me in the future if stuff keeps going down like that. So.
All right. So you get things set up with the neighbor who says her name is Mrs. Hyde. And you have a plan now for if something happens to Mr. Wilkins. If a loose end gets tied up, for example. And you can set off about your merry way, or not so merry, more than likely in this case in particular.
At some point, Sophia would have pulled the papers that she took from Mr. Wilkins' study and he was trying so hard to remember everything. This pattern drawn here on the paper is the same one that I found in the lace. This is a symbol of importance.
And it's the same one I saw when I worked with Howard. Under no circumstances should we give any listings of anyone we talk to directing them to Avalon.
Lilith.
Yes.
This is your first time really seeing the sign.
I think it's mine too, isn't it?
Yep. Both of you have not seen this symbol before. And it starts spinning in both of your minds, just shifting and changing and moving. It wriggles its way into your brains.
It's very hypnotic.
It's also a stability roll.
I rolled a 2.
2.
Oh, you both got 2s. All right. You're both going to lose 2 points of stability as this symbol burns itself into your brains, and you kind of become a little bit obsessed with it. You want to keep an eye on it. You want to see it. You want to pay attention to it.
Are you two okay?
It's just so captivating.
She folds it up and puts it back in her purse.
Pushing it away.
What were we talking about?
Oh. I don't know where we go from here. It seems like the only person left to speak to would be Mr. Brewer?
Or Mr. Rattigan if you were able to get an audience with him.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen or spoken to... I've never seen Mr. Rattigan before on any project.
Then the next stop is a library.
Okay.
Sure.
Why a library?
Social columns, my good man. Social columns.
Look up our millionaire investor studio head in the social columns. Yeah. No, I'm with you, Kingston. 100%.
Mr. Wilkins said if we make the movie, we might be able to find out what Mr. Brewer wants.
Oh, Mr. Brewer and Mr. Rattigan. If they're not also one and the same person?
That might be possible.
Mr. Rattigan pushed so hard for the movie that this all happened on with Howard. And now Mr. Brewer's doing the same with this new one. But yeah, I mean, Kingston has a point. If the people who do remember anything might have had some form of connection to Mr. Rattigan from what happened before. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like looking into Mr. Rattigan makes sense.
Howard, do you remember Noble Lucy or Walter at all?
No. They don't sound familiar. Maybe we can find them like you found me. A name or someone, paper, something. He's stuttering over his words.
I hope we can. I really do. Okay, so to the library then.
Are you all going to the library?
Yes.
I'll wait outside
Yes.
because I can't walk into your libraries. I'll go get everyone lunch.
I'll take notes on anything that Kingston wants me to look into specifically so that I can do Kingston research while he grabs lunch for us.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at the social columns for, obviously, Mr. Rattigan and so forth. Actually, more about if there's any history about where the location of Avalon Studios is. Because certain things like places of power, nodes, ley line internet nexuses. So anything geographical and knowledge would be good.
Okay.
I think also looking into Mr. Brewer might also be a smart idea.
Mm-hmm. I think whatever we can find on Mr. Brewer, Mr. Rattigan, Avalon Studios, and the geographical history of that location are probably our 4 targets. 5 of us get to be doing this research, so I guess if we split the work.
Yeah? Do you want Howard to come with you, Kingston?
It'll probably be easier to get the order placed if I can have Howard do the order and then we bring it back together.
Howard, is that okay with you?
Yeah.
I'm just going to be sitting in a dusty library.
Long as I'm not by myself.
I'm here with you, buddy.
Okay. I can do that, yeah.
Okay. Divide and conquer in here then. I will look up what you asked for about the land properties. Information, titles. I don't know.
I'll help Sophia with that and looking at maps of the area and so that we can draw out anything that seems important while we look through articles. If you two are willing to cover Mr. Brewer and Mr. Rattigan together.
I look at Lilith. Yeah, I think, yeah, we can do that. And then I get to work.
Okay, so Howard and Kingston go off to get lunch, and the rest of you pull up some chairs in the library and get some help maybe from the librarian, Mrs. Buchanan, who is willing to help you out because she's a librarian and that's what they do. So we'll start with Sophia. Sophia, you were looking into the geographic location?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Land titles and everything.
Give me a library use roll.
I have points in library use. I might as well use them. I'll spend 4. And I rolled 4. That's another 8.
Okay. That's pretty good. So you find that there used to be an estate in this area. It was a fairly wealthy owner. It had a big house. This was back before Hollywood was built up, before you really had anything going on here. There was property spread across, and he was known to be a recluse, this man who owned the house. His name was Leo Harris, short for Leonard. And he didn't go out very much, wasn't known for anyone calling on him or for calling on others. He didn't get involved in the social scene of the area. And there was an earthquake that destroyed the house. And he sold off the property shortly thereafter. The earthquake was a little bit of the strange variety. It barely affected the rest of the town. Some of the homes surrounding it, which have been knocked down since to make room for the studio, had some shaking. One of them fell over, fell into itself. But it didn't affect most of the town very much.
Is there any mention of where Mr. Harris is now?
There is not. He disappeared.
What did he specialize in, or what was his field of expertise?
He was
mentioned?
He was a millionaire recluse. Made his money you would find in gold.
So antiquities.
When saying on gold, I actually assumed that Mav meant
the gold rush.
Gold rush and literal gold from their hills era of California gold money.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
Well, I guess there's not really much there other than wildly unfortunate that this earthquake took down his home and not much else. Which is strange, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd think even if his house is on a fault line or something, even if his house is somewhere that experiences earthquakes worse than other places do, you'd assume that the house across the street, other houses in the neighborhood, there'd be more wreckage than just his house. But he made his money off of he made his money off of gold. So do you think maybe he had old mining stuff? You wouldn't keep that in your mansion though.
I'm maybe a bit, this might just be because we spent the morning with Mr. Wilkins, but him being a recluse, maybe he was like Mr. Wilkins in some regard.
Or maybe he was like Mr. Brewer or Mr. Rattigan in some regard. I mean, they never are around people most of the time. Or at least they're not around where they work. They work off-site unless they need to show up.
I guess we'll just have to wait to see what Kit and Lilith find out.
Sure. And that isn't me dismissing that thought. It's just there's two sets of elusive people now. There's the people like Mr. Wilkins that are hiding for their own safety. And then there's the people who people never see unless they need to, who are rich and elusive and on seemingly the other side of the same coin in the situation.
Do you see any merit into looking into rituals? We have words like the city and the lake and dim Carcosa.
Yeah. We can look into those things. I also, you just gave me an idea. I'm going to go to the librarian and ask if the librarian would know of any poetry or books or anything that mention a place called Carcosa.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a roll for her. She furrows her brow, and then she gets a very familiar glassy-eyed stare. Across the lake, the dim, dark lake, dread Carcosa, the pallid mask waits. And then she snaps out of it and says, well, there might be something in our restricted section. We get some donations from very interesting people.
Sure. The restricted section, am I allowed to look through what's in there?
I will have a look. And then maybe you will be able to read it if I find something under my watchful gaze at a specific table where it cannot be removed from the library without me noticing.
That is absolutely adequate. Thank you so much.
And she disappears into the back She goes through a door you see that is locked. She has to unlock it with a key, and it's a very interesting looking lock on that door, and a very interesting looking key she inserts in the lock, and then she disappears, and you hear the click of the lock again from the other side.
While she lurks, she looks, I'll go back to Sophia and go, I mean, I hoped maybe if not reference material or rituals, maybe other people who've had dreams about this place, who've been affected like us and people we know have been affected, wrote works about their dreams, poetry or whatever, that mentions these themes, that mention that city. So it seemed like it was worth checking.
Yeah, well, I would say so, considering that she was looking for thoughts at the back of her brain.
It does make me wonder if people have been here before, or if this is something that doesn't need somebody's direct involvement to do that to somebody. Like, did somebody come here and do that to her because she learned about it? Or did something she encountered do that to her?
I mean, we could test the theory. Walk up to the nearest vendor on the street and start talking about Dread Carcosa.
We could do that.
You know what? Maybe Henry Dawlish has been quite a thorn in my side recently. Maybe we should start talking to him about it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That was...
Mr. Dawlish is interesting, and the thought of using him as our test for theories is very funny, but not probably what we should do.
Yvonne, as you're talking to Sophia, and you've got your paper out for your notes that you've been taking, Sophia, you notice that she's kind of just absent-mindedly doodling something on the paper.
Sophia is going to reach out and take the pen from her hand and put it down. I think I owe you an apology.
Why?
Don't let your mind wander too much absently. It'll take you dancing down a twisted path, I think.
Art, notes. These things are the closest thing I've had to people to talk to for so much of my life. That I'll try my best to not go astray too far, but that is how I process what I'm thinking.
I can't undo it. Just...
That's okay. We were worried that these things were problems, and we agreed to walk through it together. And I understand and recognize why you're apologizing to me. I'm sure that I'd apologize too. But I don't regret being your friend or being one of the people who gets to go through this with you so far. I can't promise that I'll never have any regrets about any of this situation, but for right now, if my choices were get that letter and go through it alone or go through it with you involved, I'm glad that you're one of the people I get to go through this with. So, apology accepted, but not necessary.
Thank you. My instinct is to continue to apologize, but I realize that this upsets people more. So thank you.
As you're having this conversation, Lilith is looking through the stacks for particular things. What were you looking for, Lilith?
We were looking up Mr. Rattigan and Mr. Brewer.
And I'm also going to see if there's anything that I can find on, kind of like when Kit isn't necessarily looking, Lady Casilda.
Okay. So you start looking around. Give me a library use roll.
5.
Okay. If you're focusing specifically on Lady Casilda and Charles IX of France, who is her husband-to-be in the play, or the script for the movie, leaving Kit to look up Mr. Rattigan and Mr. Brewer, you don't find anything. And that's the interesting thing, because you find a real Charles IX of France. He reigned from 1560 until 1574, but he was not married to a Casilda. He was married to Elizabeth of Austria. There is no mention in any of his story about a Lady Casilda.
Is there like any gap or something that would correlate to missing information or historical bias?
You don't find anything. He was very young when he married. And that's the thing, because this Charles IX died when he was 23 years old. And in the play, script for the movie, he was very old.
Interesting. Okay. Nothing else really of note. I'll go back to Kit. I didn't really find anything that was mentioned in the script. There was a slight similarity with the king, but nothing else. Did you find anything?
Mav, have I?
Give me a library use roll, just to see how much you find.
All right. And I have no points in that, so I rolled a 3.
You rolled a 3. Okay. So what you do find some things. You just don't find a whole lot. There are no pictures to be found of Edgar Rattigan. There are written up articles about, millionaire philanthropist Edgar Rattigan donates X amount of money to local hospital. The reclusive Mr. Rattigan was seen out driving, but we couldn't get a photo of him. The reclusive Mr. Rattigan, like that phrase gets used, but it talks about his philanthropic endeavors. And then you find an article on the reclusive millionaire Edgar Rattigan has announced via proxy that he intends to start a film studio. Avalon Studios will begin construction in, and gives a date. He intends to focus on Westerns and on more independent films. At least that's what he says. Whether he'll be successful in his endeavor against the major studios of the day remains to be seen. But if anyone can do it, it is likely the iron will of Edgar Rattigan.
Anything on Mr. Brewer?
So you just find some notes about some films that have come out with the executive producer listed as Archie Brewer. There's not a whole lot on him. You do find a birth record. He was born here from 40 years ago. And then a service in the Great War. He served until 1919. And then occupation listed as executive producer, and that's what you find.
All right. So turning back to Lilith, not really much useful. Edgar Rattigan, wealthy, slightly reclusive, and Archie Brewer is a film producer. Not really anything out of the ordinary.
Do you think there could be any correlation to what Kingston mentioned and them being the same person?
Nothing that's suggested here. That doesn't mean it's off the table.
It would give Mr. Rattigan a large level of anonymity in regards of walking around Avalon Studios in a less auspicious role.
Fair enough.
Because as a investor, you can't necessarily get too far in what they would consider the weeds, whereas an executive producer would.
And he was pretty adamant about the first one, apparently.
Mm-hmm. So we know something went wrong, and we know Mr. Brewer or Mr. Rattigan, or they could be the same person, wanted something to happen. Question to our wonderful keeper. Is the lot that we were in with like the banquet hall and everything that Lilith saw, is that the lowest point in Avalon Studios that I'm aware of, or would it be something else?
Well, until Mr. Brewer visited, you didn't even know there were basements. And this is the only basement you know of.
So this is the lowest point in, okay. There's something we're not seeing, and it's probably being shrouded in light. I just haven't figured it out.
You were looking for things on the script?
Yes.
Question, would you have told us the plot of the script?
Didn't you hear Lilith read it out, or no?
They didn't hear anything. You were phasing in and out of reality.
Oh. So say your question again?
So you didn't actually really tell us much about what the script was about.
You didn't ask me earlier.
I know. I'm asking now.
It was a story on a lady who was betrothed to a king in France who had a secret admirer that came to her in dreams and gave her power and leverage in a foreign court as long as she gave fealty to him. There was somebody who tried to stop her from gaining said power in her now own court, but they did not succeed. She wore a yellow veil on the day of her wedding to show fealty to what is called a king in yellow.
That does sound... that sounds like you'd be great for that.
Yes, I think I would be. It's very similar veins in a woman being put in a position and set up for failure by men or people not of her perspective. So it is a story of triumph in a way, using a system that doesn't work to actually serve her.
Are you going to take it?
I do think so, especially after what Mr. Wilkins said. It makes a lot of sense. There's no reason why I shouldn't take it.
I'm excited to see that.
Oh, and when did you start keeping glitter in your pocket?
Glitter?
Yes, you threw glitter at me earlier.
Kingston threw glitter at you. I don't know how much you were paying attention to us. And it was not glitter, it was salt.
Huh, I thought it was glitter. It was rather pretty.
Yeah.
I think Lilith is just going to kind of like go back to the material.
And Kit is also going to go back to exploring and reading more.
So, at some point, Yvonne, Mrs. Buchanan comes back. She's got a couple papers in her hand, and she gestures you over to a small table near her desk where she can keep an eye on you. And she hands you the papers and says, "This is all I could find. It was donated by some collector. Still in our boxes in the back. Hasn't been put into circulation, even in the back. I'm not sure we will." She's wearing gloves to hold these. They look fairly old. And she sets them down on the table and gestures for you to have a seat.
I sit down and I put on gloves so that I don't ruin these documents.
Okay.
Just trying to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're maybe not the most appropriate gloves, but my driving gloves are in my purse. So I'll put those on at least.
You've got gloves. They'll work, so you're not actually touching the paper. Kingston would approve. and you have a look at these papers, and they're in the form of a poem. And the poem doesn't quite make sense as a poem. It doesn't rhyme. The meter seems off, but your brain recognizes it as poetry somehow. And there's lines about the Lake of Hali in dim Carcosa. You get a repetition of that phrase, the pallid mask. The world bends to his will. We are what he makes of us in dim Carcosa.
I'm going to take notes on that to show the others, because I think there's something really interesting about we are what he makes of us, and the ties to Mr. Brewer wanting everyone to be who they really are more than ever for this project. The unmasking of people and showing their like deep inner selves and what he wants them to be. That line sticks out to her.
So as you're all doing this research, Kingston, you and Howard had set out to procure some lunch for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once we found a place, sort of figure out what the menu is, and then I'll have Howard call it in, so that when we go to pick it up, I'll send him in with the money. I'll be outside the door, and then we will make our way back.
Do you strike up any conversation with Howard on the way? Do you go in companionable silence or stressed out silence, considering you?
For the first few moments, but otherwise, I'll try and talk shop with him on set design, stagecraft.
He gets a bit more animated than you've seen before as you start talking shop. You remember him helping you on the set and how he just sort of fell into it naturally. He's got a gift, you think, in the way he's talking about it. He can visualize set design in his mind's eye, and he's telling you about different plans he had for one of the westerns he was hoping to work on next, and the way he paints the backdrops. And you can almost visualize them yourself, just the way he's talking about how he works on a set.
I'm taking that in as we're doing it. It's like they need a visualizer, a dreamer, for the spell to work. So, if that's the case, what do you think they would need? How do you think those designs you were thinking of for this Western would correspond with the costume work?
Well, I was thinking, we tend to use similar colors for every Western that we do, at least the ones that I've observed, and so there's certain colors that I would use in the backdrops to make sure that they didn't clash with, say, the bandanas the cowboys are wearing. And he chuckles a little bit. It depends on, of course, whether we're trying for color, we're doing hand colored, or any of the different techniques that we use for making them. I don't know them super well. You'd have to talk to one of the developers, but here's what I was thinking. And he goes into a description of the paints that he would use. It would be great, wouldn't it, if there was some kind of way of making the colors change on their own. Wouldn't have to keep painting things over and over and over.
Thinking of the book we found in the makeup department. Techniques I'd never heard of before. It's like, how similar to what is that Howard talking about?
Yeah, he's got some ideas for paints that change color and that can change depending on what other colors are in front of them or around them, and different painting techniques that you saw echoes of in the makeup techniques that were listed in the book for some of the designs. It's very similar.
So, let me ask this question. When you were still working at Avalon, who was your best makeup person?
Best makeup person, Miss Jones.
What about costuming?
Costuming. Who was our costume designer? Mrs. Walker.
Okay. What about, we got this one particular cameraman. He's a real ass. Alan? Did you ever work with him?
Alan. Oh, yes, Mr. Wainwright. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was not a very nice man.
Yeah, I know. He's still not a nice guy. Sadly, for some reason, they didn't want him.
Mm.
What was the other guy you were to work with? Because I'm sure there's been some changes in staff and such.
The camera operator, or
Yeah.
Mr. Lane, Mr. Jackson Lane. He was a camera operator. And he kind of trails off for a moment.
And then I'll say the name of the camera person Wilkins mentioned.
Mm-hmm. No. That doesn't sound familiar. Oh, Mr. Wilkins said that name.
Yes, he did.
Didn't he?
He did.
Mr. Green? I don't know a Mr. Green. I don't think.
So they definitely wiped each of your different memories. It's not surprising because we're starting to see signs here too. I'm sorry. I was just trying a different approach to help your memory.
It's like there's black voids where people should be. And I should know that there's someone there, but it's just this.
Tell you what. Don't think about the void. Think about the space around it, its edge. What do you remember?
He closes his eyes. I was building a set, putting the pieces up, and someone was behind the camera, and I was doing things because they were telling me to do things, but I don't. That's where the void is. Who what? Painting. Painting.
Just go back to the painting. Were you painting in yellow? A lot of yellow.
Yes, the road. Movie was called The Yellow Road. It makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. But, all of our stuff's going to be in black and white.
But the
color would be so vibrant for you and me.
It would look the right shade of something. He told me. Who told me?
Was
Someone.
it the king?
No. 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 And he just grabs the side of his head and starts muttering, no, 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 no.
I'll put my hand on his shoulder and just breathe with me. Come on, look at me. Look at me. Just breathe and look at me. It's all right.
The king. The king. He's coming. Down the yellow road.
To meet his bride?
I don't know. But he's coming. I saw the tattered robes. The pallid mask. He is coming. And that is where we will end this episode. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you to my fantastic players. We had some more clues followed up on and some interesting events. Maybe we'll find out what we do with those next time. Thank you and good night.